Good morning. Thanks for being here, Sheriff Carmine Marceno. Trust and integrity are the foundations of law enforcement. I demand these from my deputies. Without these commitments, there's no reason to be in this profession. If they break that trust, destroy their integrity, I will personally rip the badge off their shirt. They don't deserve to wear it, and they should be ashamed. This is an honorable profession. I am personally disgusted and angry when one bad seed makes my family members look bad. About 2 weeks ago, we discovered a snapshot of a Lee County Sheriff's Office computer screen containing sensitive information that had been leaked. My intelligence unit, with the assistance of our digital forensics and tech services, immediately went to work to identify and cut off the source. Detectives quickly found information on a photo was an exact match to one of our programs that stores law enforcement sensitive information. This specific program only contains information related to criminal street racing groups. The program is only within a secure LCSO intranet. Access is not for civilian employees and only for certified law enforcement and corrections deputies. Investigations have many layers and many sources of information. We are a large agency that has to trust one another. This program was set to identify suspects in the investigation. The intelligence comes from deputies on the road, detectives in districts, and corrections deputies in all places of their work. The dedicated detectives, working with the latest and greatest technology, took one photo of a screen and traced that photo and that program back to a specific date and time and to a computer that was located in our core facility. Using video recordings and login information, detectives identified corrections deputy Gure Uzin as the employee who had taken that photo. Uzin, the turncoat, was immediately placed on administrative leave and removed from work with no access to any information. A search warrant of Uzin's phone showed that he had taken photos of a computer screen. He then uploaded 4 photos to Snapchat associated with the criminal street racing groups. Former Deputy Uzin intentionally gave this information out to warn these groups and obstruct our investigations. This traitor is now in a Collier County jail and charged with disclosing confidential criminal justice information. Honor, trust, integrity are what we demand from my family members. They also demand that from me. The great residents of Lee County deserve the best. As the Sheriff of Lee County, I don't ever hide bad news. I want transparency. So you know my deputies and our family are committed to the highest level of service. We will hold ourselves accountable and we will police our own. It sickens me and it saddens me that I'm standing here talking about this. Honor, trust, and integrity are absolute. The public deserves that. We are held to the highest standard possible. When one of our family members betrays us, I will personally hold them accountable, transparently, immediately investigate, incarcerate, and personally rip the badge off their uniform. I will not tolerate it. Zero tolerance for that and all types of betrayal of trust. I'll take some questions.
Has this directly compromised any certain investigations? I mean, you just started the task force recently as well. How has this directly impacted any investigations?
So what happens is we have criminal informants. We receive information from all over. Okay, people that are in the streets working undercover. Anytime we leak sensitive information out, first of all, you risk the safety and security of our deputies, the public, and actually compromise the investigation. So what happens is the people that are involved in the investigation now get intelligence that they're not supposed to see, and that hurts our investigation. So it sickens me, it saddens me. When you take that oath, We have trust, faith, and honor that we have to uphold, and we cannot break that trust. The public's trust is critical to our support. And as the sheriff, I own it, I'm transparent, and we fix it. And no one's held above the law, nobody.
Did he have the credentials to log in and see that information, or he took someone else's?
So he was a certified law enforcement correctional deputy. So, civilian employees were not able to see that, but certified employees were able to see that information. And again, we trust in them. Very sensitive information that they know, they take that oath, and they know that, what the rules are. And anytime you breach that, you risk people's lives, you risk investigations, and that's why there's zero tolerance.
Do you know how many certified employees there are within the county sheriff's office?
So overall, our employees are growing. In the sheriff's office, we're over 1,700, give or take. We're just probably under, again, it grows every single day. We have a waiting list, and I'm thankful for that to be in the sheriff's office, but it's give or take about 1,100.
Is this connected directly to one of those street racing incidents that we've seen prior, and did it affect any of that investigation?
When we had that horrific incident with street racing and people think that they could take the streets over, we're not tolerating that here in Lee County. It was all hands on deck, and the men and women of the sheriff's office did a great job. They adjusted their schedules. They worked continuously around the clock. Detectives, it was all hands on deck, and we we're making arrests. So that information that was leaked out did affect other people because that intel, is confidential. So when you leak that out, people get to see what we're doing and how we're doing it, and it's unacceptable. So I apologize to the public because we are held to a higher standard, but I can tell you this with certainty. As you've seen in the past, I don't play games. When I say zero tolerance, it's zero tolerance, not only for other people, but for us, but for law enforcement. We are held to a higher standard. When a person breaks that trust, the general public looks and says, well, how can we trust again? They paint with a wide brush. But one bad egg, one bad person is not going to ruin what we have here. Transparency, information received, we immediately investigate it thoroughly. And again, once we have probable cause, we arrest, and it doesn't matter who it is. When you take that oath and you get a badge, you cannot break that oath. You're trusted. You're trusted with confidential information. Zero tolerance, and again, he's incarcerated in the Collier jail.
What was the connection between the deputy and this street racing group? Because you mentioned Snapchat, which means they had to be friends on Snapchat.
Unfortunately, there are relationships that we can't control outside of work. But what we can control, and we do control, is the information within our work is not leaked out to those people. So there was some kind of a relationship where he felt comfortable enough to Snapchat confidential information. And that's why we stand here today. And it sickens me and it saddens me.
So
You
why has
mentioned
he
the,
been?
you mentioned the difficulties with managing that confidential information and how deputies, have control over what they post on Snapchat or other social media sites. You also mentioned that you're looking at 11,000 potential candidates. How does this incident heighten the recruiting, efforts or, the scrutiny?
So our deputy here that's arrested, he's been with us for 9 months. He just got off field training, okay? And unfortunately, here we are today. He's now arrested and he's no longer working with us. He's fired and all the above. I'm proud to say that we have people from all over the country coming here, out of state, from New York, California, applying here every single day. We are fully staffed. We're always looking for great people, but we have a waiting list to come to the sheriff's office, so it doesn't affect, our hiring process. We thoroughly vet our employees, a major process from medical, physical backgrounds, psychologicals, polygraphs, all the above. We're never going to lower our standards. Unfortunately, again, when an event happens like this, people paint with a wide brush. And we want people to understand that it's unfortunate this happens, but as your sheriff, I will never, never let this happen. When we receive information, immediately, transparently, we investigate, and I don't care who it is, we're held to the highest standard, and we will never break that trust.
With the previous incident involving hot water, you mentioned that you removed the hot water.
That's right.
From the jail. How is this incident going to impact, are you going to force employees to leave their phones, their personal phones outside of the...
So this incident, as does every incident, we sit back at an executive level, executive command staff, and we talk at every level about what we can do to always do better. How can we be more proactive? Can we prevent things like this? Unfortunately, when you have confidential information and you're a sworn law enforcement officer, you know what you can and can't share. So if that individual makes a decision and a choice to share information they're not supposed to, we can't control that. But what we can do is immediately investigate that individual, fact-finding mission, all hands on deck, and not waste 1 second, one, putting them on administrative leave, two, firing them and charging them. I mean, he's in Collier County Jail for what he did. And I don't have one good thing to say about what he did. Matter of fact, I'm sickened by it. And the public should be sickened by it. But one thing they can count on is their sheriff and this sheriff's office, that we stand for what's right. We don't hide things, okay? A lot of times people may think or perceive that law enforcement wants to protect their own or hide things. We don't hide anything. We're transparent. The second I can deliver that information, I'm going to tell everyone what we have, what we found, and where we are. And there's no exceptions on that.
Why is he in Collier County Jail?
And he's in Collier County Jail because he lived in Collier County. So he lived, his home was in Collier County. So our deputies, the Lee County Sheriff's Office, went with the Collier Sheriffs, and we arrested him in his home. That's why he's incarcerated in Collier County.
Final question.
Does this make you rethink on who has access to this information? You have 1,700 employees. Do you think maybe there needs to be another piece of security level?
Of course, we always think about access and limiting access and who has access. But unfortunately in this, because he's a certified correctional deputy and a certified law enforcement officer, we can't take their privileges away. Now, civilian employees are not able to get this information, but that is the whole part of the badge. When you put that badge on, there's an oath to the office, honor, integrity. So you have to have that trust. Otherwise, you're no good to us or anyone in any investigation. If we can't trust you, that you know how to do your job, you know what's right and wrong, that you can't be trusted with confidential information, then you're not supposed to be here and you're not supposed to be a law enforcement officer. That trust hurts us when you break it. The rest of the public looks at that and says, you know what? How do we trust our sheriff's office? Because of this one person. Again, this one person who we addressed immediately makes everyone else look bad. And we're not going to tolerate that. But we're always looking for ways to do better, to be proactive. But in this case, unfortunately, he was going to have access to that information regardless. But the public can rest assured that as their sheriff, I thank them for their support. I apologize to them for what took place. But again, we're held to the highest standard, and I will never allow this behavior, and I don't care who it is. I will never allow it. Thank you for being here.